right, Gene.
What up?
How's it going? We're at number 4.
There we are.
We are.
Yeah.
We're on a roll, man. Let's talk about, since the last time, what have we done automotive-wise? We've got some good stuff.
We got some good stuff that happened today.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Would you like me to go first?
Sure, let's talk about it.
It hurts.
Actually, you know
It hurts
what?
hard.
Let's back up because
All right.
let's set the stage of where we are today.
Yeah. All right.
So today we're sitting inside. We're on a different location than we were last time. Third location that we've been in. So today we're in our mobile studio.
Yeah. Let's call it that.
Yeah, the mobile studio.
I'm good with that.
We're sitting inside a enclosed trailer. I guess for me, I haven't done anything automotive wise per se since the last time because I've been traveling for work. But I think I hinted last time about going to Utah to pick something up, and I hadn't shared what that was. This was a surprise to Gene because Gene didn't know I picked this up. So we're sitting inside a 28-foot enclosed trailer. Pretty nice trailer. It's got it's all aluminum walls on the inside. It's got the escape hatch where the whole side opens up so you can load your car, open your car door without having to climb out the window like most enclosed trailers. You don't have access. Super nice trailer. That's about the only thing I've done is I got the trailer. I put E-tracks in the trailer so I can tie the cars down. I put a winch in so I could winch the car in. There's only about an inch on either side of the fender wells. So you have to winch the car in. There's no way you could try to drive that in by yourself. So I put that in. That's probably about all I've done. Super nice trailer though. So we can hang out in here during while we're at the track. Can sleep in here unless someone gets loud and gets the other person.
Let's just say this reverberates really well with the aluminum construction.
We get to the track. We're at track this weekend. We get to the track yesterday. It's a bit chilly at night here. It gets a bit chilly. The wind's kind of cool. And so I brought a tent for Gene because Gene thought we were sleeping in tents because Gene didn't know what I had. I unload the car. We have air mattresses. I have a big one. Gene
I had to go pick one. I had to go pick one up on the way because I didn't have an air mattress, and I get one that's for camping. I looked at it, I'm like, oh, that seems about wide enough.
It's cute.
It's
like for
yes, it's cute.
It's something like for my 13 or 16-year-old daughter.
Yeah, probably.
It's not for like a full-size adult.
It's not for someone who's a side sleeper and turns over.
Yeah, because it's super loud.
Super loud.
It's weird. Like when you rotate on that material. Yeah. Super loud. So,
and the other thing too, though, I didn't tell you is if you get a little too far over one side, the weight of the side falls over, and your butt comes off. Bam! Hits the tracks.
So Gene had warned me that he snores, and that he might be loud. Now I do as well. When I get super exhausted, my wife will just beat the crap out of me until I stop snoring or I have to leave the room. I didn't think about how tired I was, but now that I look back, I mean, I was, because I'd been traveling the day of, and then I drove down here, so I was super tired. But we go, I think, lights out about 10:30 or so last night. I fall asleep pretty darn quick. I put my headphones on. I've got noise canceling Bose headsets. Put those on. About 11:30 at night, I'm like, what is that sound? Oh my gosh. And so I'm trying to listen. I'm like, man, there's like a growl. It's literally like a growling noise. And so I sit up in bed and I'm like, that's Gene. My noise canceling had been working great, but it's now, when it's that loud. And like Gene said, it reverberates inside the aluminum walls inside the camper. I take my headphones off. I'm like, holy cow, this is loud. So I lay back down and try to fall asleep. So finally, at some point, I doze off. I wake up. So fast forward till about 3:30. I wake up. I need to go to the bathroom. Super quiet. I'm like, because my air mattress makes noise as well. trying to be super quiet, roll over, get out of the sleeping bag, put the shoes on.
In other words, don't wake up the wildebeest.
I don't want to wake up the wildebeest, right? Because he's not making noise. I don't want to wake that thing up again. So I go out, come back in the trailer.
Little did he know.
Get back in the trailer, or get back in the sleeping bag, and I'm like, man, I don't hear him at all. This is great. So I take my phone and I shine the flashlight. I'm like, Gene's not there. His pillow's there. The sleeping bag's there, but Gene's not there. I'm like, he must have gone to his car for some reason. So I went and lay back down, and so I see Gene in the
Notice
morning.
the caring, by the way. He didn't come look for his down man. No, he Army guys, we don't leave a man behind. He left the man behind. He's like, well, he's on his own. Yeah, you can hide your face behind your hat, but that's true.
So I knew.
No search party, no nothing.
Here's the thing, Gene can take care of himself, right?
Oh, that's true.
So he knows, kung fu or something like that, right?
Oh, I'm gonna throw a chocolate raisin at you.
So I get up about 6:00 this morning, and I go up. I do have a picture of you sleeping, by the way.
You do not.
I do. So
it
validated that he slept. So then he wakes up at whatever time, and then I'm like, hey, why did you go outside, Gene? Why did you move out of the camper or the enclosed trailer? Why did you leave?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah,
okay.
why did you leave?
So because you also snore, and you make the sound of a cold-started Z06. And for those of you who know what it sounds like, it's angry and loud. And I actually have audio.
Oh, God.
I have a little bit of audio.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Now, see, I didn't save any audio.
I got the audio. It's not the loudest, though, because I need to be a little closer, but it caught it. Your snoring is incredibly metronome-like.
Yep.
You have a snoring pattern that is repeatable. So that's hilarious. At some point, I stopped it and paused it, or I stopped it rather, and then I played it back. And when I played it back, it picked up with your rhythm.
I'm right in sync.
You're right in sync with it. It was literally perfect.
Oh my gosh! So that was quite entertaining. But the cool thing is that
let me add to that. So I ended up sending the engineer who project managed the cars that we have, and I sent him a note. Basically said, your car does many things, but when you've got a guy who snores like a Z06 cold startup, your car does not meet the needs of a tent. The bolsters, like if you turn to the side, if it's a side sleeper, the bolsters just dig into your hips, and you can't get your arms flat enough because they're kind of hunched over like this. I thought I was going to get out, have like a big hunchback of Notre Dame back. It was not the most comfortable thing, and it took me forever to go to sleep. But I kept that blanket, that extra blanket. So I even took off my shoes. I was warm enough. Put the hoodie over my eyes and the skull cap. And the mistake I made was I didn't know this was going to happen. Instead of backing the car in, I faced it east. So in the sun, right? Yeah, it was right in my face. Man, I hate my life.
oh man, that was quite funny.
That is funny.
But the cool thing is going forward is that we got a really cool hangout place whenever we go to the track or some type of event. We've got a cool place to hang out.
But not a place to sleep.
Not ideal, but...
No, mainly for me. Especially on my air mattress. The 1/3 mattress. I should just call it the 1/3 mattress because that's really what it amounts to.
I wish we had a picture of his mattress.
No, that is not going to happen.
So I guess that's really about the only thing I've done. Anything motorsport related was about getting the trailer and our little adventures with that.
So
What's
we're here.
with you?
Well, we're here. I'll tell my little story. So today we are here at Oregon Raceway Park. We ended up doing a little tour of the track where it was really cool, right? You sit down with the head instructor, or I guess he's the head instructor, but certainly the general manager, walking us through the different sections of the track and how to take it. This is a very technical track. Lots of blind turns, lots of blind off camber turns, down and up. Mm-hmm. It's really you got to memorize where the turns are clearly because I missed one. So even after we went through, went to like 3 or 4 laps, and I'm following Dan. And at some point, we go down to this thing. What they call it? That's not the corkscrew. They call it the bowl or
half pipe.
Half pipe.
I think they call it.
Went through the half pipe. As you come up out of half pipe, you take an immediate left, and when you're done, you should be on the left side of the track. So you keep left steering input, and you make your way to the left side of the track because the next turn is a right. Well, I was prepared for the next turn. I mean, technically, I was very prepared for the next
when
turn.
you watch the video,
it just went the wrong. I thought it was going to go left, so I was on the right side of the track. It didn't go left. It didn't go right. It went right. So as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I knew. I steered straight as I could. I didn't have enough steering angle.
There's no way
That would have kept me from spinning the car out. So
Yep.
I just let it drift off, kept it straight, little modulation of the throttle, kept the steering wheel right, and come back on when I was safe, and then went and pulled off the track and checked it out. And unfortunately, well, you know what? No, fortunately, car is good.
Yep.
Car's safe. I can drive it home. I already did another track session afterwards, right? So to jump on the horse as it would be. But I destroyed my carbon fiber front splitter. The bumper has got some damage, but we may be able to salvage that.
Yeah.
Luckily, I have an extra splitter at home. I have an extra bumper at home. So a little work would have to be done to put that bumper on. So I think there should be no cost to fixing those pieces. However, the really cool winglet, lower grill split all along the bottom. So that thing's got to be replaced, and that's like
so this
$550.
so this little piece, just if we had a visual, is probably about 3 feet wide by like 8 inches high.
No, it's a little taller than that, but it's
Okay, maybe not more than a foot.
Yeah, probably right. Yeah.
Maybe 12 inches.
Yeah, probably.
So 12 inches by 3 feet. Gene's like, how much do you think this is going to cost? And this thing is literally just a piece of plastic. It's in the shape of a V. They have a bunch of V's, right, to represent the V.
It's got the arrow in it, right?
Yeah,
to
direct some wind. But I'm like, it's a piece of plastic, like $100. Gene's like, 175, and I'm like, no way. But okay, I mean, it is a Cadillac. It's the Blackwing, so maybe there's maybe 175. So you looked it up.
$560 plus freight and taxes.
Oh man!
So here's the thing: my wife supports what I do, but my wife hates the money that I spend on it. Brakes, tires, broken parts. So I thought to myself, I'm not going to text her and tell her about it just yet. But then I thought better of it. Said, well, no, hold on. I know how she's going to be. She's glad that I'm safe, number one. And then she's going to be like, great, you're safe. Awesome. How much is it going to cost us to fix? So I sent her a text that just said, see, this is why I kept the extra front splitter and the extra bumper for this exact reason. And then ended with an oop, and she has not responded. So
and how long ago was that? Couple hours?
Yeah, probably 2 hours ago. Let's see if she responded yet. No response yet.
No response yet.
Yeah, she's unamused.
So I call, my wife called right before this. She's just checking in how things are going. And I'm like, oh, things are going well. I wasn't even going to say anything about Gene, but Gene in the background's like, hey, tell her I went off track or something. I went off-roading. Off-roading,
right? I did my own little mini Baja.
Yeah, I did a little mini Baja.
About 50
and so I'm
feet.
like, oh, yeah, Gene went off the track. And so Cheryl's like, is he okay? Yeah, he's okay. She said, the next thing out of her mouth was, tell Gene he needs to be a better driver.
I knew it. That is such a Dan thing to say.
That is something I would say.
That is such a thing to say.
Oh, I was rolling. That was so good.
Because that's what you texted our friend. Oh, if only Cadillac offered free racing or free instruction classes, like a 2-day course, maybe like Spring Mountain. Or yeah, that would be cool. How about what would be neat if they did that? Oh wait, they do, and I've been 4 times.
And it still didn't help.
Go didn't help. It's a new track. I've never been for it. It's super technical.
Oh man,
that's my excuse for the day.
That was funny.
It's super technical.
It is a technical truck.
It is.
It's a fun. I mean,
you got to memorize it though. You got to memorize this track.
This track is super fun. I talked about last podcast. So I was at Laguna Seca. Laguna Seca is like a bucket list item. I mean, I wanted to get that and kind of check that off the box, but or off the bucket list. But this track, man, you have to pay attention. It's got so much. Gene described all the stuff it's got. I really like the track. It's a lot of fun, very technical. I think I like this better than Laguna.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some cool things about Laguna. The corkscrew. I mean, that's super
That's probably the coolest. That's the most iconic piece.
It is. That's super iconic.
Thing, yeah.
Really great. Good location, but this track, pretty good. I still think I like the Ridge better, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see how after later in the day. We'll see how if I like it better.
We're also very used to the Ridge.
We're used to the Ridge. I know I can go. I
know how fast I can go on that thing, and I've got a fast car that goes really fast. I'm only, when I had a pro driver drive my car, I was 4 seconds off of him. And that made me really happy with my time.
Yeah.
Now, he would be way more consistent on that time than I would, but
Yeah.
still. I was pretty happy with that. It's definitely my home track. This is a lot of fun, though.
It was definitely a lot of
But
fun.
your head, you have to be high. There's no, I looked down at one point, or I'm sorry, I looked up at the rearview mirror because that guy was behind me, and I saw him coming up. Before I could get my hand out, I looked down. I'm like, oh crap, I need to be braking in about a second. Stuff comes up on you fast here. It's not a very fast track.
No, it's not.
There's really not a fast track. So when you go off-roading, it's, yeah, you may do some damage, but the likelihood of wrecking bad and getting harmed is nothing's 100%, but it's minimal.
I don't know if you saw the speed that you go on the straightaway by the start finish. So we're running counterclockwise today. I think I only got to like 113.
Yeah.
It's not very fast.
I got barely over 100. I think I looked at 108, something like that.
Yeah,
or maybe,
so not
maybe
super
103. I can't tell because I looked down real quick and I'm like, oh, I should brake
Yeah,
soon.
kind of
So
break
let
it
me
because it's
not
pretty
look.
short. It's not like the ridge where that long straightaway.
Yeah. And that turn has a little bit of
It does.
downhill and off camber to
Yep.
the left.
Yep,
Or
it
to the
does.
right. I went a really down. I'm downshifting into. I get up into sixth, going down into fourth.
Oh, I
and-
never even hit 6.
Yeah. Well, you taller gears in your car.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
true.
so-
Yeah, because I can wind that sucker out.
Yeah, so you can wind out real quick, but it is, it's really cool, man.
Well, we watched
I'm enjoying
Gene's.
that.
We'll wrap this up, but Gene played back the video. He has PDR, and so we're sitting there watching it because I didn't quite know. Neither one of us know the track numbers, by heart. So when Gene was trying to describe it, I'm like, how do you know where that is? So I'm like, hey, I got a map. He's like, oh, let me show you the video. So we jump in to watch the video. We're watching the video, and I see where he's coming up, and he's on the right side. And I'm thinking, before I even see that this is the turn that he goes off on, I see that he's on the right side, and I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, what the heck is he doing on the right side of the track? Because you should be on the left side. And I'm thinking this, and it's just like that. It's so fast, right? So I see Gene on the right, and I thought, crap, he needs to be on the left. And then all of a sudden, you can't make the turn because you're on the inside, and then you see him go off the track. But then you're able to get right back on the track quick. It was just like, boom. Like if you had that mental lapse for just a short amount of time, and you forget where you were, boom, you're gone.
Yep.
So it is really a mental exercise.
It really is. And when you're as dumb as I am, you need a lot more time to memorize this thing.
All right, so this week we've got Gene gets to pick the topic. I'm not sure how I feel about. I always feel great when I have the topic because I know what I'm going to be talking about.
Control freak.
But
control
Gene-
enthusiast. We'll call you that.
That's right. I'm just a big enthusiast.
enthusiast of controlling people.
So Gene's got the helm this week.
All right, so I have a few questions here. We'll see where this goes. Actually, I have a lot of questions, but we'll see where this goes this week. I was thinking about something. I was watching a YouTube video, like TJ Hunt or something, as they're in Japan, and I started thinking about I think it's a Bosozuka. It's a type of style. These huge pipes coming out the back, like 6 foot long exhaust pipes coming out the back. It's kind of crazy. Insane styling, huge front splitters, like, I don't know, tomato, fiberglass, plywood, whatever, like this long sticking out in front of the vehicle. It's not made for performance.
He's describing like 2 to 3 feet out front of the vehicle.
Yeah, it's not made for performance. It's made for it's a particular type of style. It's not my style, but it's a very Japanese style. So I certainly respect it. It's an automotive. It's someone's automotive passion, and it's automotive. Love it. But it started making me think about fads. Let's talk about automotive fads, right? Ones you love and ones that you hate.
Ooh, fads.
So let's talk about fads that you love. Like, man, I love seeing this, whatever this is.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Fads
Yeah.
that I love. I don't know. I got to be a decisionist. Fads.
Be decisionette.
Fads. What are some fads? Like, well, okay, I know. Fad that I like. I don't know if we've talked before about one of my. I think I talked in one of the episodes about one of my mini trucks that I had.
Yes.
Yeah, I almost said what we called it, but I won't say that here. I really like during the 80s the lowriders.
Yeah.
the lowriders with all the crazy colors that people did on their trucks,
All the pastels, all the scallops.
all of that. I
Yeah.
mean, bright, vibrant colors. To me, I don't really care about the dancing beds. That was part of the lowrider
Sure.
scene. But I think the lowriders was for me, that's the thing that comes top of my mind. Maybe if you have others that might trigger me, but I love the lowrider thing. I was into that scene, but I had all the magazines. I mean, like, I loved everything that was going, and so that's gone, right? There's no, you don't really see lowriders at all anymore.
Not like that.
They're
Certainly
all
not the
gone.
ones with the scissor dancing.
Yeah, you don't see
beds
any
and stuff.
dancing beds. Actually, you don't even see, like, I don't see many like decked out. You might see someone like might have slammed it, but as far as being decked out with like wire wheels, custom graphics, like you don't really see that anymore.
Yeah.
So I like that. I really enjoyed that time in my life. So that's probably what I would say.
All right. Well, I'll talk about the fads I love, and then we'll go to the ones you hate. I used to love in the '80s, and even in the '90s, the pro street scene. You know what that is? Pro street.
Yeah, that would be in my other category.
Right. So I used to love that. Now what I look at and go, okay, what I really want is that what I really love is a pro touring category, and that is essentially like our cars. That is taking a classic muscle car. For me, I'm still going to own one day a '69 Camaro, a pro touring '69 Camaro. It's got a great suspension on it, great brakes, modern interior, tunable for track, tunable for autocross. Drive it all day if you want to across the country. To me, that is such a jack of all trades, master of none. And you have to have really good engineering and thoughtfulness put into the build that you do. And not that they're cheap. They're not, you can do a Pro Street vehicle pretty cheap. These are not cheap, especially if you want a good engine, right? Like an LS or LT base motor. The suspensions aren't cheap. They're not astronomical, but brake kits, you can get some for the CTSV Gen 2 or Gen 3s. I'm certain lots of manufacturers make them. They'll stop incredibly well. Interiors, I like the modern accoutrement, as they say, with Bluetooth and backup cameras and stuff like that, AC. But I still want it to look kind of muscle. All that costs, money. But I love the Pro Touring thing. And that's been around forever. I mean, you look at the car that I want one day will be the Big Red.
Yeah,
right?
Big Red.
That's my, even down to the gold BBS 18-inch wheels. I want
Get busy, Timmy.
That's right, Timmy. Come on, man. Down to the gold BBS wheels, but with a more modern motor. And I don't need a full NASCAR built roll cage. I don't need that. But that's the style that I want. And I know he and the guy named Mark Stilo, who's a GM engineer, he created his, and I can't remember the name of the white one that started it. Try something. I have to go look it up. But he's built a ton of '69 Camaros and Malibus, all with that Pro Touring mentality that are just track day monsters, right? And autocross, monsters.
I don't think I've seen those on autocross though.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen any Pro Tour car, at least the ones that I've been to this past year. I haven't seen any of those on
Yeah.
autocross.
So if you look at the Optimus battery challenge, right? So they do that after SEMA. All those cars are Pro Touring
Are they?
cars. Certainly, there's some other cars that are not Pro Touring that are more obviously traditional performance cars that have been modified. These Pro Touring cars, that's my fan. That's my thing. One day that would be me. What about ones you hate?
Not my jam, but
Yeah.
okay. Probably, I mean, well, I don't really care for Pro Tour. There's others that I dislike much more. And I would say taking 35, I don't even know, they might be 35s, maybe even bigger. When you take a car, so I think they call them like, not just donks, right? When you take like an Impala or something.
Stop it.
So-
Yes, donk. Yeah.
When you take these giant wheels, small profile tires, giant wheel though, and you put it on a car, but also on trucks. So I'm not targeting one type of vehicle. It's just that style when they take those giant wheels, low profile tires, stick it on cars or trucks that are jacked up, and then they add the lights too. Now that's maybe an addition, but the wheels are the thing that's just, I mean, I like all forms of automotive. I'm not going to poo-poo on anybody.
Yep.
Hey, you're in there doing something, that's cool. We support that.
Yep, for sure.
But if I had to choose something that I don't like, it would have to be that style because I can't imagine that's a comfortable ride.
No.
It's definitely all visual. It's for the looks. but it's not a looks I like. So
You imagine drag race. I was talking to a guy I know, actually a white Camaro with a yellow stripe down the center of it. He has one. I saw him at the roll races a few weeks ago, and I see him at a lot of car shows. And we were talking about his car. He's got 28s on his or something crazy like that. Or maybe it's 24s. I don't know, whatever it is. It's big.
big.
But he's like, I said, do you roll race? He's like, no, I don't, but I know guys who do. They'll hit nitrous with 1,000 horsepower on donks. That's unsafe. That's got to be unsafe.
It's got to be.
And generally, it's also off-putting how awkward it is too, because it's put onto the stock hub.
Yeah.
Hasn't been reinforced and all that stuff. Think about the rotational stresses that's put on that thing because all the additional weight. The stock brakes. So you get this huge tire with a small brake package right in the center of it. It just looks visually strange.
It does. I'm happy there's people that enjoy that because it's just
Yeah.
another part of car culture. So I support all, but definitely not one that
Nah, it's
I
not
don't-
my
that's
thing
in my
either. I'm with you.
no jam list.
For me, it's Pro Street, and it's funny.
So what's the difference in Pro Tour and Pro Street?
Pro Tour uses like 18-inch wheels, and it's like our cars.
Okay.
Right? They're more normal wheel sizes, and they're Pro Street is it's almost like somebody has taken a race car for quarter mile, put these huge wide tires, and maybe they went quarter mile in one point, and they decided, we'll put a smaller motor in it and put it on the street, but leave the big suspension, leave the big tires.
That's probably what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, that's the Pro Street.
Okay.
It's meant to look like you're going drag racing with that car.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I figured because this is what we do with our cars
Yeah.
is essentially
Yeah.
the touring side of it, and I used to love that. But then again, to the streets, to the track stuff, and I realized that while that has it's visually neat because it looks like a drag car. And by the way, some of them are decommissioned drag cars. They kept the suspension, put a smaller motor in it.
Yeah.
And they want to keep the original look, and I respect that. Again, I respect no matter what they do. I'll line up next to them and oogle their car, no matter what. It's just that style when it was so popular in the '80s,
Yeah, 80s,
90s,
yeah, early 90s.
It has fallen off. Like it's fallen
Yeah.
off the deep end, and it. If you think about the practicality of it, they're not actually that fast. In most cases, you put them on the drag strip next to an actual car that's prepped, they're not going to go anywhere near as fast. They're more for looks than function. I guess that's form. That's the definition of form over function.
Yep, that's right.
There's a really popular one. It's a J2000 from the '80s, twin turbo. I think it's twin turbo, twin supercharged. It compounded. It's crazy, and the chrome on it is miles of chrome, and
Miles of chrome.
the tires are so wide. There is no actual suspension on the car per se, like shocks and that stuff. Nope. The guy uses the tire wall width as the suspension. Take a little air out, and that becomes the compression and rebound. Now he
There you
doesn't.
go.
It was designed for car shows, so it's not designed to go fast. But
Yeah.
it was a work of art, that's for sure.
Eye of the beholder.
Yeah, that's the style that I used to love, and now I just hate it. I just think it's not the best of styles. Any other styles or any other? Maybe it's not a full style, but maybe it's a for me, I like wide body. I really do. I know wide body's kind of there's too many of them out there, but I still love a good wide body car.
I think
Like a Hellcat wide body. Oh,
so. I think
Lamborghini Hellcat like Jack Motto has. Oh,
I like factory wide body. What I
Sure.
don't care for is most aftermarket wide body because they look like crap. From afar, from like 20 feet away, they might look okay, but as soon as you get close, you're like, oh, it doesn't perfectly line up.
so good from far, far from good.
Yeah, exactly. The gasket might be like pushed out more in one area than another area. Most aftermarket stuff I can't stand, but from factory, oh yeah, I like wide body from
Yeah.
factory. Yep.
All right, anything else on that topic?
I don't think so. It's the only one that's coming to my mind.
All right. Next question I had was, I'm from Florida, and I grew up going to car shows. My kids went to car shows with me. Like it's Florida State Fairgrounds, massive car show, not an exotic show. Not that there was the exotics there, but it was more custom. It was more traditional muscle cars and lowriders and Florida. So jacked up pickup trucks, American
Yeah,
flags. And I'm down with some of that, most of it. And I had no idea of the car scene up in Seattle area. I had no idea when I moved there. I didn't think there was one. What was I wrong? What are the states or regions of the country, maybe give a city, that you're like, wow, that you feel that has the best automotive scene.
I mean,
And I recognize it's hard to know everything
Yeah.
if you haven't been.
If you
but
haven't been.
This is more of a guesstimate. What's your gut feel?
I mean, through my work, I've traveled all around the world and the U.S. For me, it's got to be California. I mean, that's probably like de facto easy answers, sell out. The weather there is good all the time, almost all the time. Crazy money down in SoCal, so it brings out lots of expensive cars. I've seen some of the cars and coffees, they get together. It's just unbelievable stuff. For me, I'd have to go with SoCal. I mean, I think that's bigger than Seattle.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, just not even close. So Arizona, there's some stuff in Scottsdale. I've seen some stuff when I've been down in Mesa area. SoCal probably ranks top of mind.
All right. So, and I don't disagree with that. I really don't. I don't disagree with that. That is the de facto place. SoCal is where hot riding got started.
Yep.
Clearly, that's where it's going to be. And fortunately, right now, with I'm not turning this into a political conversation, but with the climate of California and how they run their business there, they make it even harder and harder, especially for tuners to do business there, right? To customize people's cars, especially if it's a diesel.
Oh.
I heard of a shop that was fined like $18,000 for putting the EPA charge them $18,000. Now that's federal, by the way.
Well,
for upgrading their putting in something in the exhaust.
Well, wasn't there a story in I want to say it's the Hyundai Elantra.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They've got the factory mode where you can put it like in like the Z mode or the V mode.
Yeah.
You can put it and it makes some burbles and cracks. And the guy got pulled over and they trying to like impound the car or something because you're not allowed to have that. Even though it's from factory, they want to take the car and I feel bad for people in California in the car scene.
I think Hyundai got involved to try to solve that for them. I read that they were getting involved.
Yeah, hopefully it got resolved to the satisfaction of the customer. But
not just that customer, any future customers is really. What
any future. I mean, that's such crap. I mean,
it's terrible. California, I would think that they would want to have pride in what they do for the car scene, but they just don't. It seems like they've changed it to it's an annoyance. So, anyways, that probably used to be the best car scene. I know you got Detroit, so Woodward Avenue is a huge thing down Woodward Avenue.
That is huge. You're right.
We have a lot of friends out there in Detroit and GM, and they tell me, Woodward, dude, you got to come out.
That's
here.
like a one-time event. Though.
It is for sure. That event's pretty big apparently, so I like to go out there. I was still surprised again at Seattle. I mean, certain areas of the Seattle area, like the Enumclaw area, lots of custom, lots of modded cars, custom cars, lead sleds, hot rods, stuff like that.
Yep.
At least in the Enumclaw cruises I've been to, I don't think I've seen a single exotic sports car there.
There's been a couple.
But I'm sure there has been.
There've been a
sure.
couple, but most time, it's not that.
It's just not. But then you go into downtown Seattle, or you go to downtown Seattle, or you go to Redmond for the
exotics.
Redmond Town Center, which we absolutely adore that thing. We've had some pretty amazing cars there. We just had they just had the kickoff there last weekend, and there's F40 sitting there next to, I think F40 is
they had
$2
or
$3
$4
million, something like that, 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Sitting next to Ferrari Enzo. That's probably, I think, 5, something like that.
Yeah, the exotic show is definitely over the top.
It's over the top. And I've seen some concept cars, like one of 2 there. So it's an outrageous show, and it's all exotics. And the fact that the Black Wings there and the V-Series cars there just underscores how unique they are. Man, so the scene up there is really much better than I thought it was going to be. And I'm very pleased. And then, of course, you got the rain, but then, of course, you got the great drives. The drives up here, or down here, rather. Beautiful drive yesterday.
Yeah, great.
Going back, as long as it stays like this, it'll be a beautiful drive going back today. As long as parts don't fly off my front bumper, it'll be an even better drive. But, drives around Rainier and a Hood or the Olympics in the spring, summertime up here.
Oh, yeah, we have.
You see so many car cruises.
Yeah, lots of
cruises.
Lots of cruises.
Every weekend, something's going on. So I think the scene up here is pretty massive.
It is. It's good. We have a good scene.
It's just not year round.
It's not year round. I mean, everybody's clamoring by March, because we shut things down probably October. We're starting to ramp things down. So really November, December, January, February. Yeah. By March, people are itching. Give me some good weather. Because then wasn't there a Cars and Coffee in March? I think it was February or March, and it was a gorgeous day. And there was 100 cars at Griot's. I mean, it was massive just because we finally got good weather. So yeah, I'm happy for the April through October because yeah, lots of good stuff coming
Well,
out.
if you're a content creator and you live up here in the Pacific Northwest, you're not going to get much of it done for the year. Like for instance, Jack Ultramotive, he's been here forever. He just moved down to I think he's over 1 million subscribers. Nice young man. He's got the Hennessy Camaro. You know, he's got the twin turbo R8. He's got some really cool cars and a new Lamborghini Murcielago. He shipped everything down to Arizona because there's a big car. To your point, there's a pretty good car scene
down there.
And I think Supercar Driven One, really nice father and son kind of duo. Nice guys, Chris and his dad. They are, you know, they've got some really cool builds and they've done some unique things. They built some of their own unique cars, but then they've also bought a couple. They bought one of DDE's car. I think there's the MP4 12C, the McLaren. Oh. They also bought TJ Hunt's twin turbo R8, and I love that. Was a cool build to watch. And I know they tried to buy Amelia Hartford's C8, and she turned them down. Scene is really cool. I'd like to see more. Yeah,
it's good. And I love all the cruises.
Oh yeah.
You know, in our area, I think there's at least 3 cruises: Buckley, Enumclaw, Puyallup, always Sumner. So there's actually 4 cities that they run cruises, and they do them on different days. From really, I think, from April or May through October, on any given weekend, there's a cruise happening, which is just amazing. To either participate in it or just to sit out on the sidelines and look at all the crazy cars.
Yeah.
That's just such a cool thing. I love the cruises. That reminds me of when I was in high school. What did we do on Friday nights after football games? We'd go cruising.
Yep.
Jump in the car and we'd do loops around the city, and it's cool to see that stuff kind of come back.
Yeah.
So we have a good car scene, but not the best, but we have a good one.
It's a good community.
Yeah, we do. We have a good community.
All right. I hear cars getting on the track.
Track is starting to warm up. Go. It is. They're starting to get warm up. One thing I forgot to mention, car related from last week, that I wanted to say because I'll probably forget before next time. I was just traveling this past week, and I think I told you this. The office, this building that I went into, which is an office building for the last, 50 years or more, it's been an office building. But I go in the building and there's all this huge exposed beams. Like there's posts that are probably 15 to 18 inches by 15 to 18 inches. Huge, solid, not pieced together, solid posts, 20 plus feet high. Whew. Then up in the rafters.
Oh, those are the pictures you sent us.
Yeah, the pictures I sent.
Yeah.
Huge exposed beams up in the roof, massive, just gorgeous metal, steel bracing. So I like that style of architecture. And so I'm talking to one of the guys there. I'm like, man, such a cool building. And he's like, oh, this used to be a Ford dealership. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I don't know why this would be a dealership, but okay, I guess, you know, it seems weird to have all this wood. Anyway, we go on. We're kind of doing a tour of the area. We get to this other guy, and I mentioned about I love the architecture. And I said, oh, I heard it was a Ford dealership. And he's like, not just a Ford dealership. This was the Ford factory for Model T. Yep.
Wow.
Model T. So in the middle, there's this big open atrium. So this guy's telling us the history, and he said what would happen is that they would start manufacturing of the engine on the top floor, and they would mate it to the chassis. They would roll it to the center shaft, to this atrium, and it had this massive elevator. Elevator would go down to the second level. It would get mated with everything else to build the car.
Wow.
They would complete it on the second level, and then they would take it down to the first level, and they had part of the bottom floor. You could actually buy the car there. When the first guy was saying it was a Ford dealership, not really a dealership. It was an actual factory for building Model T cars.
That is so neat.
And they kept all the original wood and steel is still existing. They took the elevator away, but all the wood and metal from that time is still standing today.
That is really cool.
Freaking awesome.
That is so cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was a neat tie to automotive. So
yeah, for sure.
Okay, Gene. Well, track's hot. Guess our cars have cooled down, so time to get out there. So
let's go have some fun.
Till next time.
Let's not go off-roading now.
Yeah, let's not off-road.
Yeah.
All right, man. See ya. Cheers.